I was waiting at the crosswalk when I noticed a butterfly fluttering through the crowd. A butterfly at this time of year? That's unusual. And then, a little girl stepped into the road, chasing after it. Watch out! My body moved before I could even scream. I pushed the girl out of the way of the oncoming car. When I came to, I was lying on the road. Ugh! A sharp pain in my right knee. As I realized I'd been hit by the car, my consciousness faded.
Someone! Call an ambulance! Please, help him!
A woman's scream reached me faintly.
I'm so sorry. Please, at least let me cover your hospital bills. I don't think this is something you need to apologize for.
Please don't worry so much. Your daughter will be scared if you look like that.
Mommy! Hinako.
The little girl, Hinako-chan, was only slightly injured because I pushed her out of the way. On the other hand, there's a high chance I'll have a permanent disability in my right leg.
But your father told me you're a promising soccer player.
My father had high hopes for my future. He must have been so emotional about this sudden incident that he let it slip to her. It might be difficult even if I tell you not to worry about it. But I'm not that depressed. I protected something more important than soccer. I said that and stroked Hinako-chan's head with a smile. As if drawn to it, she smiled too. Even though I said that in front of them, of course I'm not completely fine. I won't be able to run freely like I used to. But there's no point in being depressed. First, rehabilitation, and then I'll look for something I want to do. Something besides soccer, that's tough. I muttered to myself in the quiet night of the hospital room. I'm Shuta Kido. As a result of saving someone, I'm thinking about my second life at the young age of 17. I stayed in the hospital for a while, and during that time, Hinako-chan's mother, Kanako Satomi, visited me often. My parents, especially my father, were initially hostile towards Kanako-san, but her sincere attitude gradually won them over. In the end, my father came to terms with it, saying that it was a result of his son choosing to save someone. Hinako-chan also visited sometimes, and before we knew it, we became like siblings.
Big brother, how's your rehab going? Does it still hurt?
It's okay, the cast will be off soon. And after about 3 months, I was discharged from the hospital. After returning to school, I struggled with what to do, and finally switched to the art club. Part of it was because I liked drawing when I was little, but I also wanted to sort out my feelings by drawing pictures of soccer.
You're in the way of practice. If you're just watching, get lost.
Sorry, Asakura, I got permission.
You're acting so nonchalant.
Haha, it's painful to be involved, but I'm too attached to completely walk away. But then, nostalgia. My painting of boys playing soccer on the school grounds at dusk won an honorable mention in a competition.
Congratulations, Kido-kun. I also think nostalgia is a good painting filled with emotion.
That was the moment when a simple pastime took on a greater meaning. From there, I became immersed in the world of art. Along with school life, I naturally drifted away from the Satomi family, or rather, I made it that way. I didn't want them to feel too indebted to me. Since my disability remains, even if I recover through rehabilitation, my existence will become a burden on Hinako-chan's mind. I want Hinako-chan to grow up freely and without constraints. Fortunately, the Satomi family seemed to understand my intentions. And so, we each returned to our daily lives. 10 years later, at the age of 27, I became a designer at a design company. I can't let go of my cane because of my leg, but it doesn't hinder my daily work. If I had to point out a problem, it would be that I'm slow to evacuate during disasters because I can't move quickly.
Don't worry, I'll carry you in a princess carry when we need to escape. Leave it to me.
I even got a well-built junior employee who says things like that. Ah, don't look!
Don't worry, you're as light as a feather.
Stop it, my life points are at 0. So, I'm having a fulfilling work life, more or less. Then one day, it happened. During a meeting with an advertising agency we always work with.
Huh? Kido?
Asakura, is that you? I had a chance encounter with a former member of the soccer club I was in during the first half of high school. I heard they were sending a new representative. Keiji Asakura. Our relationship was too prickly to be called rivals, but we ran on the same field.
So, the strongest MF has become just a subcontractor. You've fallen, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the kind of guy he is. Asakura. No, Mr. Asakura. Can we please not talk about the past? It's not that it's painful for me to remember, but there's no point in bringing it up now. But Asakura wouldn't listen.
The past? It might be for you, but I'm still playing social soccer. I even joined this company because they have their own soccer club.
Asakura wants to say that he's still chasing his dreams, while you, on the other hand. We never got along, but I never imagined he'd be the client's representative. It'll be troublesome if our work doesn't go smoothly. Of course, we didn't get along, and he probably felt the same way. He'd probably ask for a change of representative. If so, then so be it. I thought that, but... Contrary to my expectations, Asakura didn't ask for a change. Even after that, Asakura would sneer and look down on me every time we had a meeting. I would also receive emails with what seemed like unnecessary amounts of revision requests. But even if it wasn't smooth, the work was barely manageable. If he's intentionally pushing it to the limit, it's a kind of talent. Thinking that, I kept creating design proposals for the project. One day, as I was going about my days like this...
Good news, listen up. That up-and-coming model, Kokyu, has been chosen as the image girl for the next project.
Oh, Kokyu? I know her. It's amazing you were able to secure her schedule. She's popular among young people, and is in high demand for magazines and TV shows.
Our company has a strong connection with the modeling agency she belongs to. It was decided that we could use her in a meeting between the higher-ups.
Asakura snorted smugly. Well, so far so good.
She's shining, unlike you.
Here it comes. I don't think there's any point in comparing a model to an ordinary person. I agree.
Why aren't you arguing back? Where did your fighting spirit from the soccer club days go?
I still think I haven't lost in spirit.
Haha, you can say anything you want.
Do you want me to argue back? When I asked that, Asakura made an indescribable bitter expression before.
No way. I was just testing to see if you could act like a proper subcontractor.
He said that with a sneer.
That Kokyu is gonna use your design. Be grateful.
So, what kind of design are we going with?
The client's president likes butterflies. As the name suggests, he wants a combination of butterfly imagery and Kokyu.
Finally, we can talk about work. Thinking that, I finalized the design details, and the meeting ended.
Right, I'll be going to the client's workplace to greet Kokyu, so be prepared.
What are you looking up?
Oh, I'm gonna be working with Kokyu soon, so I thought I'd check out some information beforehand. What? Seeing the information that appeared, I froze for a moment. The day of the meeting with Kokyu arrived. Asakura and I went to the photography studio together. It seemed to be a last-minute decision, and she couldn't clear her schedule.
My name is Taniguchi, Kokyu's manager. Could you wait here for a while?
Yes, thank you.
We decided to wait for the shoot to finish in a corner of the studio. There's really an intense energy here. Kokyu has a certain aura about her. After unintentionally voicing my thoughts, I regretted it.
We should have been on that side.
As expected, Asakura's snide remarks began.
So what? You're satisfied with being just a company employee? Pathetic.
Please lower your voice a bit.
Huh? Don't just brush me off.
That's not it. It's just that I think it's better to be mindful of the place.
That's why your designs lack passion.
Look, it's disturbing the staff.
Has the subcontractor mentality seeped into your very bones?
Honestly, the manager's stare was painful, but I decided it was better to keep quiet. Sure enough, when I kept quiet, Asakura calmed down after a while. Then Kokyu, whose shoot had finished, came over accompanied by her manager. She really was a dazzling girl. Asakura and I stared, entranced for a moment, and then hurriedly stood up.
Nice to meet you.
I heard you, but aren't you being rude to Mr. Kido?
Wait a minute, Kokyu?
If we're going to work together, I think a minimum level of courtesy is necessary.
Taken aback by the childlike straightforward opinion, Asakura groaned and fell silent. Huh? I don't think I've introduced myself yet. As I was thinking that...
Mr. Kido? No, Shuta-san. It's been a while.
No way. The faintly familiar features, and the information I learned about Kokyu's agency during my research. At that moment, the pieces clicked into place in my mind. Hinako-chan? Wow, you've changed so much.
I recognized you right away because of that cane.
Hinako-chan's expression clouded slightly, but this is part of my identity now. When I said that and spun it around, her expression softened a bit. By the way, Hinako-chan, you became a model?
Yes, I'm working for my mother's company.
What I learned during my research was that Kokyu's agency was Satomi Agency. And the president of Satomi Agency was listed as Kanako Satomi. I thought it might be a coincidence, but I never imagined it was actually her.
I worked hard, thinking that if I became successful, I could meet Shuta-san again.
If you became successful? So that's how Kanako-san explained it.
I finally understood that you distanced yourself for my sake. But I was still lonely, you know. I never thought I'd meet you again like this, by chance.
Me neither. I never imagined that the famous Kokyu was actually Hinako-chan.
Ahem. Sorry to interrupt your lively conversation. Kokyu, it's almost time to leave for your next job.
Huh? Already? I finally got to see Shuta-san.
We can reminisce later.
I'm sorry. It seems like it's time. I'll see you at the official meeting then.
Yeah, good luck with your work. I'm rooting for you. And then the day of the meeting with Kokyu arrived. Asakura and I were discussing what we could finalize beforehand. But as usual, it devolved into Asakura's snide remarks.
So you know, Kokyu, don't get any ideas, though. You're not on that side. You're not in the spotlight.
I know that.
Why are you so calm? Are you trying to say it's a world that has nothing to do with you? We.
Asakura's teeth grinding echoed. It's you who's saying it's a world that has nothing to do with me, Mr. Asakura. It sounds like you're trying to convince yourself.
What did he say?
I had to give up halfway because of my disability, but I feel like it was for the best. Even if I worked hard and was called a promising player, not even 1/10 of us can make it to the J-League. Asakura, who still plays in a social team, knows this better than anyone.
You loser!
Just as Asakura slammed the desk, the door to the reception room opened, and 2 women entered. One was Hinako-chan, and the other wasn't her manager.
I see. And just as Hinako told me, it seems like some discipline is needed here.
Asakura and I hurriedly stood up. I had met this woman many times before. Huh? Kanako-san?
It's been a while, Shutaku. I never thought we'd meet again by chance through work. Maybe it's fate.
Kanako-san smiled at me, and then turned a sharp gaze towards Asakura.
I'm Kanako Satomi, president of Satomi Agency.
I'm...
I know, Keiji Asakura. I had your work attitude and evaluation checked, but strangely, they're not bad. Why are you only so harsh towards Shutaku... Mr. Kido? Tell me.
That's...
You don't have to answer, but in that case, I'll have Kokuyo's contract with your company terminated. It will be a unilateral termination, so it will be messy, but it's par for the course in this industry.
Such a thing?
Please wait, Kanako-san. If you do that, it will damage Hinako-chan's career.
That might be true. Well, there is a way we won't be harmed, but that's not important right now.
That's right. I can't just stand by and watch Shuta-san be ridiculed.
Or you could step down. I wouldn't mind that either. You know the connection between your company and ours, right? I can have the representative replaced. We can't do good work with a representative who ridicules their partner.
Ugh.
Kanako-san, I don't think Asakura is making fun of me. I think...
What do you mean?
Asakura was my rival in the soccer club in high school.
Huh? Is that so? But it didn't sound like you had a casual relationship where you could freely exchange banter.
My soccer club days had quite an impact on Kanako-san. That's right, it was closer to a hostile relationship. Honestly, I was tired of his snide remarks every time we worked together. But it was strange. If he just hated me, there were ways to avoid me. Asakura is the client. If he wanted to, he could have removed me as the representative, but he didn't.
Isn't it because he enjoys making fun of you?
Maybe, but Asakura didn't seem to be enjoying it. He always seemed to be squeezing out his snide remarks like he was trying to get something off his chest. And he never once mocked my leg. If he wanted to ridicule me, that would be the easiest way.
Mr. Asakura, Mr. Kido is saying this. Do you have anything to say?
Damn it! I hate that knowing attitude of yours. You were always like that, weren't you? You were shining brighter than me, yet you withdrew so easily. And on top of that, you're living contentedly. While I'm still struggling.
Asakura's expression twists in anguish. So you were suffering?
Huh? No, that's not it. I love playing soccer. I continued playing because I wanted to.
At that moment, a single tear traced a path down Asakura's cheek.
Why am I crying? Damn it, don't look at me! Don't pity me!
Asakura, wait!
Don't come near me!
Asakura suddenly stood up and rushed out of the reception room.
Clinging to past glory and obsessing over soccer wouldn't fulfill his old dreams or bring him satisfaction. He couldn't accept that reality.
Later, after Kokyu's project was finished, Kaneko-san invited me to a fancy restaurant.
I'm sorry about the other day. I couldn't just stand by and watch you being ridiculed.
No, you helped me. Thanks to you, it's become easier to work, and it was a good opportunity for Asakura to face himself.
How has Mr. Asakura been since then?
I heard from his successor that he kept being absent without leave and ended up being fired. Of course, he also withdrew from the company's soccer club.
He was fired?
Did I go a little too far?
No, I think it was the push he needed to get his life moving again, so it's okay. Well, whether he can find a new path is up to him. It won't be easy.
You seem to understand him even though you didn't get along.
Now that you mention it, that's true. I guess it's because we were rivals after all. Asakura, who kept chasing the dream of soccer and suffered. If I hadn't become disabled, that could have been me. Life is full of ups and downs. In a long life, there are fun and happy times, and there are also hard and sad times. But what is happiness and what is unhappiness is not so easy to discern.
You've become such a fine man, Shutaka.
Thank you. Hinako-chan has also become a wonderful young lady.
I actually intended for you to meet again after she became an adult.
I was promised that I could meet you again when I became a proper adult, so I worked hard.
It took a lot of convincing, you know. Even when I told her that you distanced yourself for her sake, she wouldn't listen at all.
I still haven't completely accepted it, you know, but I've recently started to understand your feelings. I used to worry that you suddenly started hating me.
I'm sorry. I should have explained things to you back then when I distanced myself.
But it's fate that we met again through work. Shuta-san, do you have a girlfriend now?
No, unfortunately, work is my lover.
Then I'll reserve you. I'll become a wonderful adult, and then you can be my boyfriend. A 10-year age gap is normal these days.
Overwhelmed by Hinako-chan's assertiveness, I looked to Kaneko-san for help, but she was calmly drinking her wine.
Well, if you're okay with it, Shutaka, I won't object. Hinako has worked hard too.
Really? I was flustered, but I was smiling. That's because it was undoubtedly a happy time.
Aw, this was such a cute story. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.